Okay, okay, this is a very informal video just in my workshop here. Kind of a draft of things that, elements that have to go into tutorials when the waterfall farm gets a little closer to sort of getting out there in the world. So one of the elements, well, a crucial one is planting vegetation onto the towers. Now, so I'm just going to give a little demo. I grew some peppers here from seed, just buying seeds, and then this is the most economical way by far is to grow them in these little containers from seeds. These are all heritage seeds, beans, carrots, cucumbers, etc. That will they're not hybrid, so you can propagate from these generation after generation. It's the way to I think develop your own food supply that's healthy and cheap. So I won't go into too much detail. There's all kinds of stuff about how these masts are constructed. They hold these bags that one above the other, and they have a little wick on the bottoms. I think you can see it there, yeah. Oops, there's a little white wick there that make sure that the drainage from one bag falls down into the next below, etc. So these are the original vertical farm. I've been using these bags for 20 years, but just for floral arrangements, for decorations, but they are vertical farms. You've got plants here, and then the water goes down and grows more plants. These ones, these bags, I purchased, these are made in Montreal, and pay about 80 cents a piece for them. These are really high quality ones. They'll last for quite a few years. I've used some of these for 3 years just by emptying them and being carefully restocking them with new plants. Now, these ones were not made for my application, so to get the spacing as tight as possible between the bags while still allowing a spot in here for the mechanism to come in and pick them off the tower and bring them down. Remember, these towers can be 30 feet tall. To optimize the bag, I took this standard bag, cut off the top, and that gave me some rust. I could recycle the plastic that I cut off the top into this little square, and then I ironed it on. Again, this is some development here. I ironed it on to the back to create a triple thickness of this very robust plastic, and then I made a template and cut this hole. And that's was that. Oh yeah, I dipped it down here. This one isn't completed. I had to plug some holes. Made a little hole in the middle here for the wick to come out. So these are modified bags that are optimized for this application. I think once it's demonstrated that this is a very viable agricultural technique, we can get these bags made specifically for this application, modify them more or less like I'm showing you here, but without having to do it yourself. So these bags now, you can see this is this is now a triple thickness of it's extremely robust. This is quite a heavy bag now because this is wet soil. I prepared it for planting. I'm going to demonstrate how to plant those pepper plants in here properly. Now, that bag is quite heavy, and in subsequent plantings, I'm going to be putting this bag of perlite. I just made this out of very porous landscape fabric, filled it up with perlite, which is extremely porous, extremely light, and that'll occupy the back of the bag, mostly because the root systems are all in the front here, and because this is going to be a hydroponic system, so the nourishment is going to be continuously flowing through. We don't need all that amount of organic soil, so there'll be soil in the front, perlite in the back. And I think the big advantage of that is it ensures proper drainage, rapid drainage out the back. You don't want to waterlog the plants, so having a drainage channel in the back of each bag will ensure that you can have this waterfall effect, that the water will flow properly through into the next, all the way down without having undue blockages. So without further ado, here's one of these. It's good to, what you want is a nice healthy root ball, and then somehow you got to put that root ball into the front of the bag. There's a bunch of X's on here that are just suggested spacings. Here's a bag I planted last year with kale, and you can see there I did 2, 4, I did 8 of them out the front. I think back on the tower there. I'll just do one for you here so you can see how it's done. Now you just have to sort of finesse the, I might do it over on the bench here. So I brought along a bowl of water, and what I'm going to do is first off get the root ball out, hopefully without damaging it. This one here. Find if I kind of massage the plastic a little bit, it'll pop out. They usually pop out nicely. Okay, so here you can see that the roots are nicely developed in this plant, but there's no way I'm going to jam that in the front of this bag. I'm going to cut a T-shaped slot, create a cavity inside in the dirt, and then push this through. So the way to make the transplant is just to use the bowl of water here. I suppose I can even juggle this in front of the camera. Yeah, sort of massage it all a little bit out so that the root ball, instead of being a big cube like it was there, is now just a droopy little thing of roots that is ready to go into its new home. So to make that new home, I'm just going to take a knife, preferably a sharp one here. I think here I'll make 2. Not quite sure how big these peppers are going to be. That's one element that is really, there's a lot of unknowns. What kind of, how to grow different kinds of vegetables in these bags. I mean, you could plant an oak tree in there and it'll get too big, but it will definitely come out and go up. So I'll put one here. So what I want to do is create a T. I'll just cut in there and oops, cut down there. And I just poke my finger in like that, create a nice little cavity inside. Go get my baby pepper plant, here she is, and just stuff it in there. And what I found is this is extremely so thin, and I could just do all 6 of them like that. And my experience with this is that they all recover very quickly and start thriving. And so there you go. That's a very short tutorial on how to plant these bags with a variety of vegetables, get them started. I think it's crucial we get more experience with the cultivation side of this. I think the mechanical side is coming along really nicely. I'll do a separate video on that. So I'll turn off the camera and see what people think.